Okay, so okay, so good evening. We are in the evening part of the day, and I think we can begin. Yesterday, we had tried to look into articles and active passive voice. We will have a recap of that today. Along with it, I would also like to take you through some rules of concord. Okay, that is subject verb agreement. So we'll begin with that, but before that, before I forget, there is something which I want to tell you all. I came across a question which said that there was this word council and council. Okay, so there was this word council and council which was there in one of your questions, and it said that COUNCIL council and COUNSEL council. So I wanted to tell this to you yesterday. COUNCIL council, okay, and COUNSEL council. Now, of these two words, one of the words is a noun and the other is a verb. And then if you can put some stress on your brain, you will see that there are two more words which are pretty similar in their spelling, advice and advice. Now, what is the difference between these two words is if you look at their uh, spellings, there's this difference of C and S here, okay? And with this change of spelling, one of the two words works as a noun and the other acts as a verb. What is the easier way of remembering it? Is in the alphabet of English, when we kind of read from A to Z, C comes first and S comes later, right? And also when you kind of read through it, N for noun comes first, N for noun comes first, and V for verb comes later. So remember this, that the moment you see a C there, we are talking about council, a council of ministers as a noun, okay? And I wish to seek some advice, so can you please counsel me? Can you please guide me? Okay, so that is the difference. Also, here I need some advice. I am in need of some advice. Here, advice is being used as a noun, and advice, advice, is a verb. May you please advise me on what to do. So that is a difference. In one of the question papers, there was this question. So I wanted to take this up first. And now we will initiate first with a bit of concord. Now, what is there is talking to one of your faculty members here. I was told that, of course, rules are the first things you should know. Then you can go ahead with the practice. So, one of the books for English, if I can suggest, sir suggested this book to me. So, I'm sure because they have all been aspirants, no? So, this is a good book by published under S. Chand. It is called Objective English, written by Dr. 𝐅𝐸𝐺𝐺. And I'm informed that quite a few questions from this book are asked in Rajasthan Judiciary. Then another book with which you can practice English is again Objective English, but that is a Tata McGraw-Hill book. So that is another book which you can take over, which you can use for practice. I am beginning with Concord, and okay. So now what is concord? Concord is subject verb agreement, okay? And when we are talking about subject verb agreement, yesterday also I was telling you this is the backbone of English. If you can have a grasp of the verbs and how the play of the verbs kind of works in a sentence, then you have actually mastered the language, right? So that is the only thing. So be it tenses, be it direct, indirect, be it concord, be it active, passive, it is always the verb which we are concentrating on. Okay, and so here there's this rule one. It is very easy, of course, that the single subject will be having a singular verb and a plural subject will be having plural verb. Yesterday I did kind of talk about it, that the verbs which are there, we of course have is, am, are, and of course the other forms of it was, were. Then we have do and does. Past tense of this is did. And then we have has, have, right? Has, have, past tense of which is had. So what is there is, as students, you need to master this art of being very aware of the verb forms. Okay, so now it's written here that single subject, single verb, plural subject, plural verb. Here there are these two sentences here. The quality of mangoes was not good or is not good, and each one of these apples is red. And in these two sentences here, you can see that we are dealing with single subjects, and so we are using singular verbs here. Had the sentence been the mangoes, then we would have written were not good. Okay, or these apples are red. Of course, very basic, but this is what you have to be sure of in order to in order to be aware of okay, so this is one thing. Okay, just a second. Let me okay, so let's move to the second rule now, which says that I am sorry about the struggles with this. Okay, let us go to the second rule, and that says, this is actually easy, and so I'll not put much time in it. Two singular subjects joined with and take a plural verb. So of course, gold and silver are precious metals. Fire and water do not agree. Do is plural, does is singular. Okay, remember that. And then as we move ahead, we have, this is something which I had mentioned yesterday also. This says, yesterday I have told you that when we have words like with, as well as and along with. So the moment you see these three words joining two subjects, you have to remember that you have to follow the number of the first subject, ignore the number of the second subject, and go ahead with your verb form. Okay, so that is there. The house with its contents was insured. So what we are depending on here is the house which is there. Silver as well as cotton has or have fallen in price. We are dealing with, we are not saying silver and cotton have fallen, but we are saying silver as well as cotton has fallen in price. Okay, okay, this is something which you are aware of, so I'll not kind of again devote more time to. Neither nor, either or, they are actually singularizing our subjects, and so we are using only singular verb. Okay, but here there is something which is an exception. Okay, now when we have Two subjects which are singular joined with neither nor, either or, then we are using a singular verb, meaning gold or silver. So there, or neither gold nor silver has fallen in price, meaning neither gold has fallen nor silver has fallen. But what is here is, it said neither the chairman nor the director. So what is happening here is, of the two subjects, one of the subjects is plural. Now here what is happening is, of the plural subject, from the plural subject we are placing our verb which is closest to the second subject. Okay, so what you have to do is, single subject, single verb, two subjects which are singular joined with and will take a plural verb. Two singular subjects joined with either or, neither nor will take a singular verb. Two subjects joined with either or, neither nor, where one of the two subjects is plural, then the verb closest to the subject has to tally with that particular subject. Okay, so what we are doing here is neither the chairman nor the director. So here the verb which we will consider will depend on the closest subject, which is directors here. Okay, so this is what is there. This is what we are considering here, that when we have two subjects, when one of the subjects is plural, then the verb closest to the second subject, or the verb closest to the subject has to follow the verb rule as to what is there. Okay, this is of course something which you all know, and we can go ahead, that there are certain words which are plural in form, and so they just look like plurals but actually they are singular, and so they take a singular verb. Then there is a flip side of this particular rule, wherein there are certain words which look like singular but are actually plural in their form, like poultry, cattle, people, gentry. All of this will kind of take a plural verb. Okay, so this is there. You just need to pay a little attention, and this is nothing of much use, but okay, now this is an interesting rule which says that there are, it's written when a plural noun denotes some specific quantity. We have 15 minutes, 10 kilometers. We are being told that this is actually considered as one whole. Okay, so what we have is, this is being considered as one whole. 15 minutes are allowed, nahi, 15 minutes is allowed to each student. So that is the time allowed, nothing more, nothing else. That is the time allowed, 15 minutes. 10 kilometers is a long walk. So the point being that whenever we have plural nouns but which are devoting some specific quantity or amount, then we are to consider a singular verb. Okay, okay, now there are certain set of words which always take a plural verb. My spectacles are broken, or trousers, scissors, drawers, jeans, tights, pajamas, all of these will always take a plural verb. His trousers were blue in color. My spectacles are broken. These things are always in a pair, and so will always take a plural verb. Okay, so that is what that was. I wanted you to know about concord. Now what we'll do is, so far I have told you two things. One is words like advice, advice, counsel, counsel, COUNCIL, COUNSEL, ADVI, SE advice, ADVI, CE advice. what is the difference between the two words is, and this came in one of the exams, okay? Like the word council was being asked, which council will come in that particular blank. So with C, what comes with C will be a noun, and what comes with S will be a verb, okay? I need some advice. May you please advise me. Okay, so one is a noun, one is a verb. Now here is what we kind of had a look at it yesterday. This is active passive voice again, and we will go ahead with it in terms of, we'll just have a look at it as in a recap, look at a few sentences which are depending on these, and then we kind of go to a few error detections, okay, as in what usual errors people make in prepositions, conjunctions, articles. So we'll have a look at it, okay. Now this is active passive voice. Of course, this I had shown you yesterday, but it was not clear. Like under simple present tense, when we have take or takes, you know what's the difference, right? Single subject, like Rahul leaves for the class, or Rahul and Shyam leave for the class. So leaves and leaves. So this is the form of the simple present tense. So takes will be changed into am taken, is taken, are taken, okay. So you need to follow this table, you need to memorize it by heart in order to understand it properly. What we will do is we will go ahead looking at the examples, and then we can kind of take it up. Of course, this I have taken from Wren and Martin, like their take, no, simple present tense. Sita loves Savitri, so Savitri is loved by Sita. Now again, we have to very carefully check the play on the verb, okay. So that is what is making all the difference. Is building is being changed to just a second, okay. Okay, so here is building is being changed to is being built, right? So that is what is there. The pen opened, of course, past tense, so was opened. Then were helping, of course, the moment we have ing, we are putting a being plus past tense along with it. Of course, were, so we need to maintain the past tense of that. Okay. Now, as we go ahead, we are just quickly we will look at these sentences, and then we can, okay. He will finish his work, so of course will finish, work, will plus be plus finished. So that is who did this, by whom was this done. I actually want to take your attention to the last parts which are there. One should keep one's promises. Now if something like this comes in your exam, and then there are 4 options, you have to kind of pay attention to, of course, we are dropping the subject there, right? One should keep one's promises. Promises should be kept. So that is what is there. If you look at post the letter, now this is more like a request, so you can kind of if you have options there, like you are requested to post this letter, okay. Post the letter, it can be either a request or an order. So either you are ordered to post this letter, you are requested to post this letter, as per the kind of sentence it is, you need to go by it. Now here is a recap of what we have done again yesterday. Okay, so go with the practice of the sentences which are there for active passive. I think they give 4 options, and out of which you have to choose the correct option. And there, as I'm saying, that you have to depend on the verb for all of the grammar. Okay, now here we have already had a look at articles yesterday. Come to point number 3 here. It says that we have talked about it, that when are we using a and when are we using an in terms of indefinite articles. So we are using a for consonant sounds and an for vowel sounds, and we are saying vowel sounds. Okay, so when you have words which are abbreviations like he is dash mla, mla, and when we are using the letter m, here it is a. When you are saying m, the sound of the vowel is there, so there we are using n before the mla. Okay, so here there's a set of letters f, h, l, m, n, r, s and x, and though these are not vowels, but when these letters are spoken, they are spoken, the sound of the vowel is there. Okay, so that is there, and RAF and NCC and FIR. So this is what you need to remember, just in case there are options with a and the and such questions come. Okay, now this we of course already know, and this also you know that use with vowel letters having consonant sounds. Of course you've got to use a, like university, unique. Here what you have to do is the sound is of a consonant, so you have to follow that. Now with units and rates, what you are using is like rice sells 10 rupees a kilo. So rice sells 10 rupees per kg, rice sells 10 rupees a kilo, or so here with units and rates also we are using so remember that. Now this is interesting. If you look at number 5 here, when two objects or articles are thought of as a single unit. Now if you I have already told you that so concord, we have single subject, single verb, which takes a plural, single subject, single verb, plural subject, plural verb. Two subjects joined with and will take a plural verb. Okay, like gold and silver are precious metals. So what is happening here? There's a sentence which says he was ready with a cup and saucer. Now it's written here, two subjects or articles are thought of as a single whole. So here we are not saying he was ready with a cup and a saucer. Here with the usage of articles, because cup and saucer is considered as a single entity, like so here we are using just one article. Okay, when two subjects or articles are thought of as a single unit, use just one single article there. So just keep an eye on that. Suppose relating this to concord also, what is there is there are certain items which are together, like the horse and the carriage. So what is there is the horse and carriage we say, because what is happening there is along with the horse the carriage comes. Okay, so just like cup and saucer, it is considered as a single entity, horse and carriage. Again, if I tell you that bread and butter is my favorite breakfast, now what I am saying is, I am not saying bread and butter are my favorite breakfast, but because bread is taken along with butter and it's considered as one entity, so we have to use it as a singular entity. So just relating the two together, that you have to remember. Of course, a is used with I have just a couple of minutes. Okay, or I have to buy a dozen bananas maybe. So a lot of time has been spent. Here also there's this usage of article, indefinite article a. Now this is what is there, just pay attention to this. Yesterday I skipped this sentence. To make a common noun of a proper noun. Now what is here is this man is a second Newton. Of course we know Newton. Newton is a like a person who is well known and is a proper noun. But here the moment you say a second Newton, meaning someone who is as good as Newton, or a Daniel to judgment. Someone, Daniel was considered to be someone who was known for his judgment. So a Daniel to judgment. Okay. So to make a common noun of a proper noun, if something like this comes along with your articles, you should be able to know of it. Okay. Now where all are we using the? This we already know. The first one, I think we got it repeated quite a few times yesterday. When a singular noun represents a whole class. So this we know, the mango is considered the king of fruits. Now with rivers, islands, mountains, we are using the. With the names of books, religious books, mythological books, along with the musical instruments and religion, we are using the. Okay. And also with the names of the political parties, the BJP, the Congress, the Democratic Party, and with the superlative degrees also. Okay, so just keep this as a recap, that when you are dealing, just kind of go through this, and then go ahead with solving the question papers. Okay. Now we have just tried to look at articles and what are the important aspects into which we need to look at under a few points. Here this is error detection and the mistakes which we make. Okay, so that is what is here. What is marked in asterisk is the wrong one. So you just have to keep in mind that there are certain words which will never be pluralized. Okay, like furniture will never be furnitures, or information will never be informations. We say pieces of furniture, a piece of information, machineries will not be there. There are pieces of machinery. Okay. Or what is the last? News can never be newses. Okay. So here is a whole list of words which will never be pluralized, as in scenery will never become sceneries, informations is not the right word, furnitures is not right, I wish to seek some advices is wrong. So you have to pay attention to these, that these set of words will never become plural. Okay. Then we have of course certain words which look like plurals, but of course we know this, right? Physics, mathematics, economics, these are singular words. Now again pay attention to this. Okay. Another set of words, it says brick, bread, fruit, word, etc. Now what is happening is nouns which are used in singular form, you can never pluralize them again. You can say I have 10 pieces of bricks, but you will not say I have 10 bricks to build this monument. Okay. And then slices of bread. Fruit to fruits is being used these days, but if you go by the traditional grammar method, you will not find fruits there as such. Okay. And also in the usage of the word, like here in this particular sense, he is true to his word. We cannot, when we are using it in a phrase like this, here we are using word only. We are not saying he is true to his words. Okay. And I ate 10 slices of bread maybe, or I have a variety of fruit in my basket. Okay. And 10 pieces of brick are required. Now here whenever we have these dozen, score, 100, 1,000, million preceded by a number, then we are not putting these with an S, right? I am sure you know this. You would want to kill me for telling you this, but just in case, okay? He bought 10 dozen bananas. I have dozens of bananas in the house, but the moment it is preceded by a number, you need to stick to the word without an S. Okay, I have 300 rupees with me, or I have hundreds of rupees with me. Okay, so he has millions and millions of rupees, or he owns 5 million rupees. Okay, now again, this is the moment you have you are, if you have done a 3-year degree program or a 5-year degree program, so the moment we have a digit placed before it, no, it's like a 10 rupee note, not a 10 rupees note, or it was a 2-hour journey, not a 2 hours journey. Okay, so with the numbers attached to these words, we have to restrict the pluralization of these. Okay, there are, now this is interesting, of course, words like cattle, police, poultry, gentry, we have seen that they take a plural verb, right? And has and have, has is singular, have is plural. Now when we talk about the police, we have to consider it as a we have to consider it with a plural verb. But if you read the newspaper these days, you will see that if we are talking about one policeman, then we can say that the police has arrived. And when the police comes as a group, the police have arrived. But grammatically, again, pay attention to this, that we have these certain words which are always taking a plural verb there. Cattle are grazing, okay, and people are waiting. Gentry are good. So gentry is the blue blood people. This we already know. Scissors, pincers. Okay, now there is a set of words here which will never be pluralized, so you have to pay attention to this, like deer, sheep, fish, apparatus. There is a variety of fish, though of course we nowadays use it when we have different fish, we call it fishes, but otherwise it is fish only. Okay, so like deer is grazing or deer are grazing. Both ways the word deer will remain deer. Okay, or apparatus will not be apparatuses. So that is what is there. Now here the word wages is there, so it will what are the what wages are they paying? That is what we usually ask. We don't say what wage are they paying. Okay, so the wages of sin is death, or the wages of the workers have been raised. That is what will be used here. Now again, pay attention to this. Words like committee, audience, team, public, government, orchestra. So of course we say that the government is formed, but here we have, because when it's considered as a single entity, these words can be we have to depend on these words depending on what the context of the sentence is. Okay, so like here I have two words. The jury has taken decision to organize the event the next month. That is that there's a unanimous decision by the jury as a whole which has said that the event will be organized. The jury were divided as there was a conflict of opinion. Now because the jury is not here talking about one single answer or not taking a common decision, so we will say the jury were divided. Okay, so this you have to consider. If suppose they kind of choose the correct answer and there is a division, and they have used the word was and were in two different options, you have to go by were. Okay. Now we are coming to pronouns. This is again important. The usage of the word one. One must do not his duty or her duty, but one must do one's duty. Okay. One must do one's. Okay. One must do one's duty to one's country. So this is what usual mistake we make. So this particular these particular sentences are only telling us as to what we are not supposed to do. With everyone and everybody, we have to make it followed by his or her only, and not one or they or them. Okay, because everyone itself is, we are singularizing it. So what we are doing is, we are actually singularizing everyone, each one, everybody, and so we have to use the pronoun which is his or her and not they or them. Okay. Of course, the three cases of pronouns which are possessive, the possessive case, the objective case, and the nominative case. So here, let not he go, but let him go, let her go, let them go. Okay. Now there's this in the object, but and except are followed by objective case of the pronoun. Okay, so this particular slide, this particular PPT is actually like a crash course on grammar, depend with the contents on the mistakes which we make. Okay, so we have articles also. We have looked at articles, at nouns. Now we are looking at pronouns. So the moment we have but and except followed by a pronoun, it has to be followed by a pronoun in objective case. Everyone attended the party except him. Everyone attended the party except her. Everyone attended the party except them. So that is there. Okay. Okay. Now this is again something important which you must look at. Let's start with the last one first. Okay, so we have two words here. One is each other and one is one another. So when there are two people involved, it's each other. Okay, and then when there are more than two people involved, there is one another. So if I have to say John and Mary, two people involved, they don't love one another, but they love each other. And the moment we have the family members love one another, that you can have, or they help one another. Okay, so this is about okay, going ahead. This is just a very quick take on the whole of grammar or the mistakes which we make. Okay, so just try to understand who denotes subject and whom denotes object. Like, who do you think did that job? So here, when we are talking about who did this, we are talking about a subject, and if it's something is done by someone on someone, that is, we are talking about the other person as a subject. Then whom did you abuse? Like, someone was abused by you, so whom did you abuse? Okay, and very basic, but I'm sure you are aware, whose and which. So when we are talking about living things, persons, it is whose, and when we are talking about lifeless things, it is which. Okay, and each other, one another, I have already mentioned. So let's go ahead. Yes, now adjectives, very important, pay attention, and then go ahead with the practice of whatever you can get hold of under objective type. Words ending in IOR, like junior, senior, inferior, superior, anterior, posterior, all these words ending in IOR will always take to. He is junior to me. He is senior to me. Okay, so we have to Okay. Let me just go there. Yes. Ah. So what we have here is we have to uh, junior to, senior to, inferior to, superior to. Okay. And you are already aware that these are certain, these are, it is, okay, wait. Okay, so this we some adjectives like these are not to be compared. I mean, we cannot say this is a unique book. Unique is unique. We cannot say something like this. This is the most unique book. Okay, and then we have when we are comparing two things is okay. So when we are comparing two things, it is better of the two. Between the two things, how are you comparing? Okay, so here are a few things. Okay. Have a look at this. Something like this actually may come. When two changes happen together, we are just going ahead. Okay. Here we are dealing with adjectives and the mistakes which we make. When two changes happen together, comparative degree is used. Like the higher we go, the cooler we feel. Okay. The richer we become, the humble, the richer one gets, the more humble one becomes. Okay. Okay, now look at this. If comparison is made by using other, than is used instead of but. So if you have a sentence, he turned out to be no other than. The moment other is there, you have to use than. Okay, and with certain or sure, the sentence must be followed by to. I am certain. Okay, we are sure to need help. He's sure to come. Okay, so this is what I wanted you to kind of be aware of. Okay, now coming to adverbs, and we are going really quickly. This is just like a rule book which you must try and follow. Okay, here it says adverb of manner, place and time are placed after the verb or object. Okay, so after the verb or object. So Reena does her work carefully, or he runs slowly. So adverbs of manner, place and time, we will not say he was slowly running, that would be wrong. Okay, or Reena carefully does her work, no, that would be wrong. So Reena does her work carefully and he was running slowly. This is how it has to be put. And okay, adverbs of frequency, seldom, often, rarely, hardly, that is coming between the subject and the verb. He often goes to Delhi. He goes to Delhi often would be wrong. Or I seldom visit my nani's place. Okay, so that is what is there. Okay, now adverb enough is placed after the adjective, so you have to pay attention here. She is clever enough to understand things, not she is enough clever to understand things, or she is, yes. Okay, so this is what is there on this. And okay, okay, I think that's it what we have. Okay, we have a few more. Okay. Let's quickly finish it. Here it says ever is okay. So this is not very difficult, but he seldom or he seldom or never. Okay, so he seldom or never tells a lie. So along with ever is sometimes used incorrectly as never. That is what is there. And the word only should be placed immediately before the word it modifies. Okay, so here we are trying to say that Harry answered two questions and we want to emphasize on two questions. We want to modify this. So he answered only two questions. He gave me only 10 minutes to talk. Okay, so what we only should be placed immediately before the word it modifies. Okay, now very quickly have a look at this, and this is important also, that when we are sure of the time we are using at, like the class will begin at 3:30 or 4. When we are talking about days or months or years, then we are saying in, like the classes will continue in June. When we are talking about festivals, I will be home at Diwali, at Eid, or at Holi. Okay, so this is the usage of at when we are talking about a fixed time. Or maybe if you want to say that you have to reach that particular place by a certain time, that is not at 5 o'clock, but you have to reach there by 5 o'clock. By refers to the latest time, the last time by which you can be there. Okay, then when we are talking about like the classes, look at this look at this one. In is used with parts of days, months and year. Okay, in summer the weather is warm. I will with parts of the days, months and years. But when we are talking about a particular day, my brother will arrive on Monday, when we are talking about a fixed day. Now this by I have already talked about. Since you already know, right, since and for are very important from the tense perspective also, that you have to when you have to use since. It has been raining since 8 o'clock, or it has been raining for 6 hours. So when we are not sure of the time, when we are not talking about the specificity of time, then we are using for, and when we are exactly sure of it, then we are using since. Okay, from refers to the starting point, so this is not of much use. Okay, and again something which may be of use: scarcely, barely and hardly. This we are coming to conjunctions now. Okay, are followed by when. So hardly had I slept when the telephone rang. So this can come as corrections of tenses also. Okay, so here scarcely, barely and hardly are followed by when. Not only, of course, we know is followed by but also. Other is followed by than. He has no other claim than his wealth. So you have to be very particular about it, that other will always be followed by than. No sooner again is also followed by than. No sooner did he reach there than it started raining. Okay, no sooner had the police arrived than the, okay, so no sooner did the teacher see than the students stopped talking. So that way. Then we of course we know this, that either or, neither nor are together. Okay, such is to be followed by as, like is to be followed by as. He likes, he runs. Okay, so it says that such is to be, we talked about such things as weather. Okay, so this is these are not the regular these are not the regular ways in which we are using grammar, but this is how it has to be used. Okay, now like is followed by a pronoun as. Okay, by a pronoun as is followed by a clause. Like if I'm saying he runs as I do, so there I have to complete the sentence and put it as a clause. And if I'm saying he runs, then I can say like, and then I can directly use the pronoun there. Okay, so that's it. And yes, that's it from my side. And we can, y'all, if you have any questions, y'all can just drop your questions and we can have a look at it. Other than that, please do practice. I've already told you it is 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐄 Objective English and written by Dr. R.S. Agarwal. And the other one, as I told you, it's a book by Tata McGraw-Hill, that again called Objective English. So that you can use. Other than that, I have already told you about this about these two words, right? Remember these. Okay, advice, advice, counsel, counsel. Because I did come across a question which kind of was dealing with this. Okay, so fine, that's it. Okay, thank you.